So, what exactly are zero waste lifestyles? Mr. Faisal, would you like to share the definition of a zero waste lifestyle with us?
All right. So basically, zero waste can be defined in depending on where you are in your journey, right? Some will define it as pretty much refusing and reducing a lot of this packaging that is not going to be end up in the environment, unnecessary packaging that is trying to minimize as much as possible. Some will actually look into a less impact in terms of waste, in terms of managing it better. Now, for myself, I've been a zero waste practitioner for 4 years. I would say, from the beginning to my journey, and now currently, my definition of a zero waste lifestyle is zero waste to landfill, as well as zero waste to burning. That means it is my responsibility whatever I consume or I decided to actually partake doesn't end up in the landfill itself, nor it goes back to the burning of those wastes in our environment. So it is managed through a sustainable solution, as well as uh, s- a much more a long-term understanding of how to manage the waste that you produce.
All right. Miss Melissa, as someone who has been practicing these lifestyles for almost 3 years, what has been the major drive for living a waste free life?
Thanks for the question, Cheyenne. It's really simple. I think it's more understanding that everything that we do has a connection to the world at large. Sometimes it's hard for us to envision the things that we do having a connection with, say, the fishes in the ocean or an endangered species in the jungle. But when we actually trace the things that we eat, we use every day, and how that impacts every little step along the way and how it got to us in the first place, then I think that's where the drive really comes from. Everything that touches our hands that we use every day, sometimes things that are only used for a very short period of time, for mere minutes, everything has an impact, whether it's carbon emissions or whether it's the way they were produced or how they will be disposed of and where they will actually end up after that. So when we think about that, then there's this huge weight of responsibility that is what I'm going to do today going to create a negative impact, and how can I reduce that? So I think growing up as well, I was a huge animal lover and I still am. And I know that a lot of our audience here, especially with the youth, they are as well. They care about what happens to people, they care about what happens to animals. But when we think that all the decisions that we make every day actually impacts them in some way, then that is where you can find the motivation to live a zero waste life.